Recording. Yo. What's up, everybody? What's up? This is your boy, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston, host of the Sugar Ray Show, with another wonderful episode, man. We have a super esteemed guest, another one, right? I know I say that every time, but all of these guests are esteemed. All of these guests are doing incredible things, not only in their own personal lives, for their family, but they're doing work for the community. They're doing work for the world, essentially, to move us forward into a more harmonious world, man, just keeping us up to date with technology, with art, with activism, social organizing, all of these things. So today we're here with my brother Matpreneur. I'll read his bio, let you know who you're talking to, who you'll be listening to rather, and then we can get right to him. Matthew Jean Pierre, aka Matpreneur, is the founder and leader of Galore Urban Tech Inc. This nonprofit is 5 years old and first started in Rosedale, Queens at the library. He started volunteering because he wanted kids to do more than just play games. He wanted to inspire kids to get into the tech field and aim high. He wanted kids to have a safe, fun space to learn techie stuff. Since that humble beginning, he has helped bring over 100 programs and events focused on coding, drones, art, virtual reality, and more to Queens, Brooklyn, Florida, and of course, Zoom. With the launch of their intern program in 2021, he hopes to inspire older youth to give back while building their resume. Cheers to tomorrow. Yo, that's how, man. You are the tech guy. You are the drone guy. You are the VR guy. You actually let me borrow a VR headset for a while, man. Just returned it to you. Incredible experience, man. My mom enjoyed it. My mom tested it out. She was frightful at first, right? 60 years old, still like, whoa, what is this? How am I in another place? But I'm here. What am I seeing? Am I going to fall? Like, Mom, you standing in my living room. How you going to fall? So, brother, how you doing today, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. Good to see you. Appreciate being on the Sugar Ray Show. I'm excited for what's happening with this particular thing. Forget everything else. This right here, I'm excited for that for you. I'm feeling great. Galore Urban Tech is doing good, and I'm excited to be here and talk to your peoples and everyone worldwide.
Nice, man. Appreciate you. So, let's get right to it. What interested you first? Like, what age were you when you first started to develop an interest in technology? How did that come about for you personally?
So back when the internet first started, and it was dial-up, and it was
I remember
the dial tone, right? I'm gonna even go back before that. 7th grade, one of my classmates got an Apple computer, and in our school, we only had one computer in our classroom. We're talking about 1987, right? And it was so cool. I ran to my friend's house to look at this computer. Then when we moved to Queens in 1989, my stepdad got a computer. We had internet all of a sudden, and I was on there. In between then, I got distracted, right? I was in high school, got distracted, starting to get in trouble, end up, going up north doing 5 years. So when I came back home 2001, I was a helpful person. Like, someone needed help with a resume, someone needed help figuring something out on the computer, basic stuff, right? And then one day I woke up 2016. I just said, let me do something different. That's what kicked the journey. Me put something, create another revenue stream, right? So what I did one day, when I kept going to the library and giving kids a little piece of paper that said code.org, and I used to tell them, hey, don't just play the games, figure out how to make these games so you can sell these games to your friends and everybody else around the world. And then Miss Murray in the Rosedale Library was like, hey, why don't you just do a program? You're always bothering the kids. And that was the beginning of Galore Urban Tech. Miss Murray said, do a program, and I obliged. That was God talking.
Absolutely. That's powerful. That's powerful.
And that was it.
So let's go back there, right? Getting in trouble, going to prison. So I've been in prison as well. And it was in prison. It's funny because similar story. I was writing as a young kid, writing poetry, writing short stories. And then my dad passed when I'm 11. I got distracted, got into the streets, got in trouble. Wasn't writing so much, but I never lost the thought of writing, and one day writing movies and writing books. In prison, did you still, were you thinking about tech? Were you thinking about this stuff at all in prison, or did that just happen when you came home?
Yes. No. So in prison, I was neutral. I was solo. I didn't have anybody I needed to roll with, do all them things with, right? I read a lot, and from 1996 to 2001, a lot happened, right? But Stuff always happens in 5-year, 10-year intervals.
No, for real.
In my 5 years, a lot was happening, and I was reading what I could read. Dudes got tablets inside now, and we didn't have that, right? So I had to go to the library, read newspapers, listen to the radio, and just listen to innovations that were happening. When I came home, I tried to go back to college. So it was more of while I was still inside, I was thinking about now and the future, right? What was happening now, what was going to happen. I was looking at energy stocks, right? I was calling my mom, there's this energy stock. They're making electrical fuel cells. Buy some stocks, right? So I was reading. So it started in prison mostly. Not just one day, then years after getting out, that's when I acted on it as far as giving back to my community and motivating my community.
Powerful. So now you're helping people with resumes. You're helping people with basic computer stuff. You said the woman's name is Miss Murray.
Miss Murray.
Miss Murray said, "Yo, just create a program." What was that first program like, and what was the process of creating it? Was you nervous? Because again, like you said, you've been doing it on a small scale. You've been doing it just helping the little people like that. It wasn't really structured, but now you have to structure something. What was that process for you, and was it daunting?
So let's always remember there's other people and things around that are better than what you might have or what you could do, and you learn from that, right? So as far as structure, it was there. I use platforms that already have structure, that have lesson plans, and I could just plug and play with whoever's in front of me. So we used a platform. I wasn't nervous. I was excited. Nice. I'm making a commitment. And side note, what gave me the strength to make that commitment, I have 3 kids, twins. I have 12-year-old twins. They were doing great in school. Yeah. The fact that they were doing great in school, and I could know that I could be absent for an hour and a half on Fridays or Thursdays to do this for someone else, that gave me the strength to say I can go outside and play around. And then I had a group of kids there that showed up the first time. The next thing you know, we was doing basic coding and really like safe space, man. You come to the library and do nothing and just play games. We come to the library and have fun with Matpreneur, right? Absolutely. And that was the vibe. Let's have fun. Yeah, we're gonna be learning coding because I need you to get into this industry. But let's just have some fun. Let's learn about graphics. Let's learn about putting pieces together to make a final project. All these things we need in life, no matter what we're doing, right? I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous, but I was excited. Then when that first week happened and we had 4 or 5 kids, I was like, all right, we're doing good. And it went from there. And that was when I was volunteering. That was I volunteered from the end of 2016 and into the beginning of 2018. We incorporated Galore Urban Tech April 2018.
Nice. So let's talk about that real quick. How did you get the name Galore Urban Tech? Like, what does that mean? Where did it come from?
I was gonna be unique, right? I'm not trying to bite nobody's style. We from the hip hop crowd. No biting.
Whoa, even that's bars right there.
Yo, so if you think about Galore, that just someone doesn't know the meaning. It means grand. It means great. Yeah.
Major.
Urban, the communities we want to serve, they're urban communities, whether they're black, white, green, yellow, it's urban. There's a lot of potholes in your way, right? Whether you're an immigrant, whether you're low income, whether you're historically disadvantaged because you're black, right? And then tech.
Yep.
So I wanted something grand for my community focused on tech.
Nice. And
it was a weird name.
No, and I read something you posted the other day on social media. Initially, it was tough because the initials are GUT, gut, right? How did the community take to that name, particularly when they put those initials together, the acronym? Like, what was the response from the community?
You're thinking exactly what I was thinking years ago, in 2018, 2019. I was like, man, this acronym is tough right now. Gut, it's tough. So we didn't use the acronym. You might see me use it now. And in the past year, and people now we say gut because it means something. Before, gut didn't have no meaning. Once you pour into something, you can give it life. Gut has life in Queens, New York.
Yeah, it does.
And in New York City, right?
Yeah, it does.
So we made it mean something besides a traditional thought. But it was weird.
It was weird. I can imagine. So let's talk about the process of, so now you have this company, you incorporate it. I've seen you do a lot of work in a lot of spaces, from getting grants, getting funding from other organizations, from other institutions. how did you, because I know a lot of times a lot of people don't do that. They don't, ask for grants, they don't ask for funding, they try to do it all on their own. What made you know that you had to, that with your baby that you have here, right? You had to reach out to get support to really make it what it was. What was that mindset for you, and not being selfish and trying to hold it just for yourself?
That's perfect. Selfish. This is not for me. When you start a nonprofit, it doesn't belong to the founder at all. Never will, never has. It belongs to the community. So my name is Matpreneur, right? So I have to think like an entrepreneur. And what do I want to see a year from now, 5 years from now? Well, I'm gonna need funding one day, because if the dreams explode in the first, second year, I'm gonna need support, right? And that was it. I'm a people person, so I'm not scared to talk to people. I'm not scared to ask questions. And I don't mind swinging the bat and getting a strike. I don't even mind striking out, as long as I come up to bat again.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that process. There are people who do go for grants, who do ask for funding, who get rejected and then stop, right? Where did that mindset come from for you to, even if I strike out, I'm coming back. Even if I don't get it this time, I'm coming back. If this person closes the door, I'm gonna find another person. Where did that resiliency come from?
All right, man. I'm from the gutter, right? I'm from the streets. I'm a child of immigrants. I had to learn to live both worlds of being a Haitian descendant, being American, not knowing my Haitian ancestry, not knowing American ancestry, not I had to do it, right? I had to learn things on my own and with a few people around me. So I had to be resilient, and I'm Haitian. Haitian in the 80s, there's a lot of jokes going around. You had to run for your life in the 80s if you were Haitian, right? And that was real. And I was the kid without the accent. So just being born an immigrant kid in America whose parents didn't know how to push him, going through life. I got locked up 3 times, and the third time was a trauma. I went up north. I made it out of that, right? I didn't die in prison, got no scars. I still look good.
My man.
Right? And I made it through that little phase of my life, and I made it through other obstacles in my life. I've had a lot of obstacles that I put on myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to overcome it and acknowledge it. I acknowledge where I'm weak at. I find where I'm strong at, and I found a partner to deal with, that can help me, whether it's a person like you or it's an organization like Department of Labor, let's just say, or DYCB. You find what aligns with you and get to work, and don't give up. If you believe in why you're doing this, why you started this, that first day, there was something there, let that carry you. You're doing this for a reason. Today you're gonna go for $1,000 and get rejected. Tomorrow you're gonna go for $5,000 and win. I had to get rejected a bunch of times. Galore Urban Tech got rejected a bunch of times as far as grants go before we won our first grant. But when our first one, we was like, woo, over the moon. And we put that $1,000 to work. Next thing you know, we won $5,000. Then we won 10 VRs. Then we're about to get $3,000 for art. We're a tech nonprofit. We just won a grant for art, right? It doesn't make sense if you just look at it on a surface level, but it does. It's how you work your work.
Absolutely. And that's what, a lot of people forget, that art is weaved in everything. Like everything is an art, everything is a creativity, everything, even technology is rooted in art. They have to design it, they have to then manufacture it, right? Yeah. And they have to then think marketing, right? How do we market this, which is an art, which is ultimately comes down to art. So let's go there. 2023, right now, the year we're in, obviously tech is becoming a thing now, where it wasn't before. Everybody's talking about STEM and STEAM. Do you feel that society, particularly in Queens, from the institutions and the individuals, are caught up with the need for technology, particularly in education with our children, or are we still behind? And what more do we need to do then?
It's a hard one, right? Because there's 2 ways I can go with it. I could bash, or I could uplift through motivational words, right? I definitely felt for at least the years before this, COVID and before, we were behind. COVID made us catch up, right? COVID made sure every child that was in a New York City public school or any school got a laptop or tablet. So now those who didn't have at home had, right?
Yep.
They even was able to get a mobile hotspot for internet service. There was free internet programs happening. We was forced to put this into our youth's hands. And now, did the youths only benefit or did their family benefit? Because if there wasn't a device in the home, mom has a device, dad, grandma, grandpa, now they have access to a device, right?
Yep.
Educationally, I felt we were behind because I see public schools and even charter schools were offering, a 4-week program once a week. So a 4-day program, an 8-week program, 12-week program. And it wasn't diverse, right? It was some coding. It wasn't diverse enough. I don't feel it was diverse enough. But we fast forward to now. I'm gonna shout out our Queensboro President Donovan Richards because in January of this year we held the first ever Queens Tech Fair, and I went there and it was amazing, right? Yes, that one was organized and really led by Deputy Board President Ebony Young, and they put on an amazing event. It was techified to the death. Galore Urban Tech was in the building.
Yeah.
They had us by the front door when you first walk in. I was like, why did they put us here? That was God once again. Because you had to walk in and see us. You had to walk out and see us. And on the walkout part, a lot of people stopped at our table, right? So as far as our borough president, he's pushing that initiative. The Queens Chamber of Commerce now has a Queens Tech Council.
Nice.
Once again, the borough president and the QEDC, Economic Development Council Corporation, they did a competition for tech innovation. Nice. So Queens is pushing that. Borough-wise, I can't speak on. I'm gonna just stick to Queens, New York.
Yep.
But we need our schools to do more. I'm one of the few people that are few orgs that are pushing drone programs, right? Forget AI, forget virtual reality. It's not happening in our schools. It's not happening. And like you said, you had a VR, right? We went and won those VR. I didn't win them to put them in the corner.
Yep.
I wanted to bring them to our community. I was telling the kid in 2017, he come to the program, I'm gonna bring the bag home, and now it's coming to light, different things. Now we have VRs that I can share. I have twins. I gave them a VR because I want them to start using it because I'm going to put them in my first cohort when we get to development. So they had a VR. I'm working with my homegirl Tahina. We wrote the grant together for the art grant.
Yeah,
We're doing VR and art. She has a VR. Now she's adapting her curriculum, her program, so she can deliver it in the metaverse as well. So the idea is that we got to team up. If we really want to profit in this industry, there's trillions of dollars that's floating around. And I'm going to say it again, when it comes to virtual reality, drones, AI, this is just the beginning. We have no time to be left behind. We have to be in it now. That's my passion right now.
No, absolutely. And it's a necessary passion. Let's go there real quick. VRs. Can you talk? Obviously, a lot of people, even my age, I'm 39, right? My age, it's okay. Very apprehensive when it comes to virtual reality. Can you talk a little bit about like why people are apprehensive and what you have done or what you're doing or what any org is doing to help ease that apprehension and let people know that there's nothing scary about it, there's nothing dangerous about it. Talk a little bit about that.
So for people my age, I'm in my 40s, late 40s. We saw movies about this, right? The future about AI, computers taking over the world, right? Virtual reality is our past coming to light. So I can understand that right there is one thing. And then the device itself, like the Oculus, the Quest, put a big old bulky thing on your head, right? Who wants to do that initially? Who's me and you were unafraid kind of guys, right? We're unafraid kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? But there are people that are cautious. They're not just trusting anything. I'm putting this big old thing on my head. Where am I going? Am I gonna come back? It's
real though.
We explained it to them. Hey, you can have fun with this, but the second biggest use is productivity. People are getting trained on here in nursing, medical care, how to do surgery, a lot of things. Go to Mars. You can go on Mars. You can go on a space trip right now through the metaverse. You can do virtual interviewing. So people like me have to make sure we explain it to that person in front of us. Meet them where they're at. If they're educated, boom, hit them with that Harvard stuff. If they maybe not be at the Harvard level, hit them with that next level. Hit them with the level where they're at. They're a guy in the street, they smoke weed all day and hanging out. Hit them with that level of conversation.
Absolutely.
Yo, fam, check this out. This is better than what you're doing right now. Let's go around to my corner in the metaverse, right?
Powerful.
Meet the people where they're at, speak their language and tone, and introduce this VR to them. Let them know we can't miss. If there's someone in their life that might like tech a little bit, bring them around, right?
No, absolutely powerful. So now let's go to drones. That's one thing I'm really excited about. The drone education as a filmmaker. I'm excited about the VR too, but the drones specifically, because again, we've seen movies, we've seen aerial shots. Now we're seeing people, individual filmmakers and creators be able to create those same things without that big Hollywood budget. What excites you about the drones and working with young people, and why is it extremely important?
Well, what excites me, like I said, it's in the beginning. That industry is still in the beginning. There is room for us to, when I say us, Black people, minorities, disadvantaged people, there's room for us to be a big piece of that pie now versus getting lost. So we have room to jump in. What excites me is that, well, what frightens me right now is that the biggest drone company is DJI, a company that's based in China, America. We always have issues when it comes to their tech. So I've transitioned away from even trying to get to use DJIs because they're going to get banned eventually in America, right? And that's a whole bag we could talk about in another interview. But with the drones, there's easy access to getting one and using it. It's fun. Just flying it is fun. Then when you're talking about, all right, looking at it through your phone and flying through your phone. When you're talking about creating a map, a flight plan. When you're talking about coding a drone, and then you can go into building a drone. Right now, there's access into doing those things if you're able to do it, right? There has to be a program for youth to build drones in order for that youth to build drones. Absolutely. So that's what we're working on next, right? We have kids drone clubs where we learn to fly, learn about safety. Most people don't know if you own a drone and you want to fly a drone for fun in the United States of America, you must have your trust certificate from the FAA. A simple certificate. It's a quiz. You read, they give you questions, you read more questions, boom, now you're allowed to fly for fun in America. If not, any law enforcement agency can ask you for your paperwork and seize your drone if you don't have it. So that's the number one thing we're doing right now is we've had over 100 kids get their FAA safety certificates, I think this year alone, okay? And that's a big accomplishment because when I first started the drone clubs, I was clueless to that, right? Imagine if I'm close to that. What about the parent that's working and has 3 kids, 5 kids, whatever, right? They don't know about this stuff. So my job is to make sure they know about the basics. So we're working on the basics. Galore Urban Tech, we're still at that level of introducing people. I don't want to jump to advanced stuff if I still have a huge audience that needs to get introductory stuff, right? Introductory lessons. I can't take it to the moon if you can't walk on Earth. Right? Right now, we're trying to get people grounded in using these things and then going to that next level. But drones, easy access. You can fly them indoors or outdoors, and they're fun.
Absolutely. That's powerful. Tell me a little bit about what is the response from the children, particularly what you just spoke about, not only flying the drones, but also getting FAA certified. How do they respond to that? What do you see when you look at them as they now experience this and now are part of it? In the beginning, they're part of the future now. What's their response?
They are so happy. If you look at the photos, if you're there in the room, when they realize, when they going through it, they're annoyed, most of them. But when they're done and they see that certificate with their name on it, they feel their accomplishment. They feel proud. They feel like they did something. And then in certain instances, I have to let them know who they are. You're the first ever kids in this school to get your drone safety certificate. You'll be the first ever. You're the first club.
History.
The first drone club in your school. Remember this. I had at PS 176 in Cambridge Heights, we did a program, total about 30 students. Half were girls. So I had to take a
Wow.
pic with the girls and say, what you're doing right now is revolutionary. What you're doing
Absolutely.
right now is historical.
Yep.
You are a group of girls in Queens and in New York City, in America,
In
who are doing
America.
something that wouldn't traditionally get done. And look at the color of your skin, because there's a barrier that comes with that, unfortunately. Unconscious or conscious. There's a barrier that comes with that. So we let them know what their accomplishment means. One day we're going to get to our 1,000 youth with
Of course.
a jump
Of
certificate,
course.
and we're going to do a party for that.
Of course, without question, without question. Talk to me a little bit about any pushback you get when you talk about drones and VR from families and parents. Is there any pushback? And how do you deal with it if there is?
Only pushback is no pushback really, except the parks department don't want you flying their drones in their parks, right? So that was the only issue I've had with. But our first series of drone clubs, 2021, we went to 4 parks. I didn't know anything about the FAA safety test, so I was out in parks flying. I never got approached out of all those times we was in those parks. And then 2022, there was an event happening in the park, but that was told we couldn't fly drones. I asked them when I saw them when I got to the park, yo, why we can't fly there? And I did it nicely. I could have did it the other way, Malcolm X revolutionary style, and said, you're wrong. First of all, federal matters run over the state matters.
Absolutely.
State matters run over city matters. City matters run over borough matters. We can play this game all day long with rules. I'm informed, but I didn't do that to them. I gave them grace. I said we can't fly drone by. Oh, someone died. Someone died in the park because they got hit by a careless pilot operator who had metal blades.
Oh,
probably
man.
did. I don't know the story. Did not have his safety guards on. It hit a kid in the head, and the kid passed away. Rest in peace.
Damn.
But every day there's a car crash. We get in a car.
Day. And we
Every
stop.
their planes have crashed. There've been some famous plane crashes. I live by the Rockaway. There was a famous plane that crashed. We still getting planes.
Yep.
So that's something that the Parks Department is going to have to get over, and I will help to be a catalyst for that. And they're the biggest ones that are. But then people don't get bothered by them, really. I haven't heard stories of them bothering anybody. The parent feedback has been great.
Nice.
When a parent finds out it's a drone club, they're actually very happy.
Nice.
So it's been great. The kids are always happy.
Nice. So let's talk about something that I don't know if you started last year or the year before, 2021, 2022, but now specifically, so you're in Southeast Queens, right? You're in, Barockaway, houses and things like that. It's one thing, but now you took a specific interest in introducing these drone clubs and these VR clubs to NYCHA residents, public housing residents. Why was that important to you, and how has that been, particularly with, I think the first one you did a couple of months ago, very successful? Talk about that.
Yes, iDrones at NYCHA. That is a collaboration. I have a friend I used to work with. So my first job when I came home, my first real job was at Target. And then that was the end of 2001. And I ended up spending the next 20 years in retail, right? Well, at Target, I met Latoya LeGrand of Projects to Projects, another nonprofit. After I left Target, we lost ways, Met Latoya again 2021. She told me what she's doing, focused on NYCHA. And I said, hey, buddy, because when you can have a good partner that's doing something in the space, and you can add on to that, or bring your piece, but there's an expert there that can connect. So I said, let's do some tech stuff together. You be the NYCHA partner since you're focused on NYCHA. Let's shine together, right? So we devised NYCHA drone clubs, and the idea is to provide free drone clubs to 10 kids living in NYCHA, living in specific residences. So we already went to South Jamaica houses. Our plans are to go to Queensbridge. We were supposed to have it already, but it got delayed. But we're going to Queensbridge. We're going out to Far Rock. There's a location I want to go to in Brooklyn. And then there's one more spot in Queens. I don't remember where right now. But the idea is just to, serve that audience, because that is a clear audience that is identified as low income. And then a lot of the residents are Black or Hispanic. So we want to target those people. And it was real cool. The first year we raised $5,000 just for the regular drone clubs. Now with the NYCHA drone clubs, We found a friend and a donor who donated $1,500 for the first club. We won a grant. We got funding from Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, the JFK redevelopment team. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Tanisha. Tanisha's not with them no more, but she introduced me, got the conversation going. Met up with Rachel. We figured some things out, and they wanted to support the NYCHA drone clubs, and they cut a check for $5,000. So that's going to support the rest of the 4 clubs we have planned for the year. And that, like you said, not being afraid, right? If I didn't go for a little grant, how can I ask for funding? This wasn't a grant. This was me asking for funds to support something. And it's yes or no. You know, there's no battle, right? It's straight up tell your story. Do they like it or not? Do they believe it? Do they trust you? Right? Is there faith in you? And we put in work now for 5 years to build a lot of faith with a lot of people. And you know, I cried, of course, you know. That was our first major grant from a corporation, and for it to be Port Authority, the check Port Authority.
It's major. It's major.
Like
that doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen.
I'm still stunned, you know, and that was back in January when they said yes. So it's been a blessing. We have 4 more to do. That is definitely going to become a staple of what we do, programming for NYCHA. But then the drones, because the kids love the drones. How can we speed up a kid getting into an industry? You know, with the drones, to get a pilot license, you have to be 16, just 16. So at 6, you could be an entrepreneur at any age. So you can incorporate your LLC, your drone media. You can plan this starting at 13.
Incredible.
Hang around us, 16. So you turn 16, take the test that day, pass it with a 70% score. You already got your business on the ground. You already got the paperwork done, got your logo, got your social media, got your marketing plan, right? You got $5 grand in the bank, kick it off, right? Because your family and your community is going to support you because you're about that life, right?
Yeah,
you're going to win a pitch competition, right? So when you're 16, all you got to do is actually just take the test. You're going to take that test. You're a full-blown entrepreneur. You're going to hit up Sugar Ray. You're going to hit up Matt. Yo, who needs a drone pilot? I got people that need drone pilots now. We ain't got them. We only got 2 on deck that I can refer. 2. I want to have 50 in a couple of years that we can refer.
Yeah, we will.
So items at NYCHA it's a hit. It's a win.
Nice. So I want to stay right there real quick because you know NYCHA oftentimes gives a lot of pushback. Has there been any pushback or challenges with drones in NYCHA? Has there been any?
So you're gonna make me spill secrets now, baby bro. You know, you can go through something, you can go around something, right? You know what your boy's doing.
Of course.
So I don't. They can't be pushed back if they can't be pushed back because there's nothing for them to push on because they don't know what we're doing.
Of course.
We partner with other people.
Of course.
Right. We partner with people with space in NYCHA.
Of course.
Right. So the South Jamaica Club, it was in South Jamaica Cornerstone, but that location is managed by another organization.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Even before then, that major organization, they knew we was doing it, but we didn't even go through them. We just went through that location itself. The bigger organization heard about it and was excited. They got feedback. Oh yeah, there was a drone club done here at our thing. Really? Oh my God. And guess what? That same organization, we're doing 4 summer camps with them this summer. Right? Amen to that. Like we did work they didn't know about. Then they realized it was us. Here we are now. Boom. We're gonna be at their summer camps for them. Right?
Incredible.
Should I shout out the organization? Nah.
You can, of course, if you want to.
I want to get people like riled up. SQPA, Southern Queens Park Association. I love them. I've been waiting to part with them for years. Nice. And it almost happened in 2019. But it fell apart. And here we are a couple years later. It's even better than what I could have thought, right?
Absolutely. And that's powerful because even that goes to something you said earlier. And that's something that has been the theme in all the interviews I've done so far is never give up. Right? Something fell apart just 4 years ago, but now it's coming to fruition and it's actually better than you thought it would be 4 years ago. right?
Yes.
So that's a testament again to your resilience, and then just the will of the universe, the will of the divine, the will of God. Just like as long as you keep walking and keep stepping, it will get greater. It gets greater later, but the key is to never give up, right?
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
The mission and purpose has to be real, right? If it ain't real, it's gonna fall apart, no matter what you do. But if the purpose is real and your energy is matching the purpose, and you're about that, you're living it truthfully, honestly, holistically, you can't stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit, right? I want to go back and then come back here. So you spoke about giving your twins drones, right? Coming back to now today, like how is that with blending family? Because as you know, a lot of times people say don't mix family with business. You can't do this. This is always a challenge people give, which is I think is terrible advice. But
It's my
how is
daughter.
that? No, incredible. How is that for you as a father? Like, how does that feel every day knowing that you are doing exactly what they told us not to do, blending family with your career in the tech? How does that feel for you personally?
It's great. It's been great because I get to bring my kids out to events now, and they're forced to be public and network and meet others and talk and engage. They just have to.
Mhm.
Oh, they go. That's your kids. That's your twin. They have to talk to people. They're coding with us. They got VRs on their head. They're flying drones. They got little robots. I get to pour that into them right like live, like 24/7. So it feels great. Some things they like, some things they don't like. Not my problem. My big thing is putting them in front of them to let them try it, right? And they
Yep.
get to try it. My little one, my 5-year-old, he loves drones. He
Nice.
can't fly them straight, but he loves drones. Daddy, you bringing the drone? Daddy, we going outside the drone? Oh, let me try the VR. Put the VR on for me. He don't know what, right? He's moving his thumbs. He don't know what to do. But and then my wife Ty, she gets to come around and give back. She gets the support, help me plan, help me think things through. And it's not for us. It's not for me and her. It's not for me, her, and the kids. It's not just for our family. It's for our community and those that look like us, right? So I think we've all been happy about this journey, going through this journey, and accepting the blessings that we've gotten.
Nice. Oh, I want to talk about something real quick because you're doing the drones, you're doing the VRs, you're doing all this tech stuff, but there are soft skills being developed, as you mentioned, putting your children in front of people to develop public speaking, to develop more confidence. What are some of the soft skills that you notice that a lot of young people, or even adults, maybe your wife, maybe even yourself, have developed as you've been so focused on this tech stuff? What are some of the soft skills?
Well, one thing we've definitely pushed is the public speaking part, right? Just speaking. How do I publicly speak? Head up,
Posture.
chin up, posture, project your voice,
Mm-hmm.
speak to the room. There's 20 people in the room, speak to the 20. There's 100, you're gonna have to speak to 100. How you carry yourself, right? If I just popped in, looked in through a window and looked at you, what would I see? Would I see someone slacking, doing nothing, looking bored and crazy? Do I see someone that's paying attention, engaged, learning, that's the next up in line to be a leader? Man, we was wrapping up a drone club with an after school program, SQPA, and the last 3 weeks was drones. So we had one female student, I think she's like 11. She quickly learned how to fly the drone, and then she was helping the others behind her. All right, come over here, go to your left, go to your right.
Powerful.
In my head has the ED, right, executive director. I'm like, oh, I need to put her down as a potential facilitator one day. Even at this age, she showed me that she could facilitate with me right now.
Powerful.
Right? Leadership, not being scared, helping your friends, helping those around you. That moment, I was just in shock. I was like, because she keeps calling me names, Baldy and this and that, right? But that moment, it transformed for me. I'm like, oh, I gotta keep an eye on her. I need to meet her parents, whoever her family is, and tell them to keep her involved with us, please, because we got a job for her. We got an intern position for her, right? So,
absolutely, that's powerful. So, speaking about children, if there has been any bad experiences with any of the children? Like maybe they walked out, didn't want to participate, didn't listen. Has there been any tough experiences with the young people? And if so, how did you navigate that?
So let's say tough. Let's take out the T, right? Because it's never been that tough. The experiences. Of course, you have, out of 100, you're not gonna get 100% greatness. Whether it's behavior, whether it's doing work, paying attention, not talking. But if I scale it up, right, 0 to 100, it's been 99. We have to understand everybody's different. There's not one human being that's the same as another, point blank. Whether you're the smartest in the room, or whether you're dealing with developmental challenges, whether you have a disability, right? We're gonna make that your superpower now, right? I've had kids that are on the spectrum, and we have kids that had ADHD. We have kids that don't like to talk, and we just push them to be their best selves, right? We push them to be great. We take any and all. Our mission is to meet you where you're at, and so we try to remove the obstacles of a program, right? Of paying for drones, of paying for a program. We try to remove those obstacles by having free programs or even low cost programs. Remove the obstacles. We find the space, and then we get them in a room together. Now our job is to meet them where they're at. If they show up, it doesn't matter if they're angry. Make them happy, and if they're happy, let them help you make others happy. How can you figure that out, right? So we it's been things here and there, but nothing too crazy I would report on. My people are great.
Nice. I love it. I love to hear it. Man. I love to hear it. That's how it should be, right? Because I think one reason you have you have this great experience is because you're really doing something. You are catering to not just a need, but you're catering to a desire that young people have. Young people, I was a young person. I love playing games, right? If virtual reality was out, I would have tried it. I would have been involved as a young person. So you're catering to something that they already want to do.
Yes.
Right? They just might not understand the tech, right, aspect of it all the time, but they want to be involved. They want to be involved and they want to play and have fun. So let's talk about from there. So it's not just fun. Talk about some of the other benefits that come from all of these programs, virtual reality, drones, and the coding. What's some potential in terms of truly building community, truly building economically? What do you see happening today and as we move forward?
Well, one of my dreams, right, from years ago during this journey was I need to see a tech lab on Jamaica Ave, downtown Jamaica.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Jamaica, right? And then this past year, Greater Nexus opened a co-working space, right?
Yeah.
So they're pushing that boundary. But I would love to see a maker space in Jamaica. That's one of my dreams, a place for kids to come out and tech. Whether Galore Urban Tech is a part of that or not, doesn't matter if we can get a space that focuses on tech education for real, that has drone clubs for kids, that has drone camps for 16 years old, that has virtual reality workshops. See, with our virtual reality grant, our art grant, we're doing virtual reality and art. We want to introduce virtual reality, that industry to people. Now we want to show you one of the uses. You can game, but here we're going to do a sip and paint in the metaverse, but in person, right? So how can we bring stuff to them that's useful, let them use it, and let that be a point wherever their starting point now. Like I said, meet their starting point. But I would love to see a maker space. I would like to see a Southeast Queens drone club. We don't have one. There is one, other parts of the city that they have drone clubs, right? There's a club at Flushing Meadows Park. So there's different spaces, like even the coding, right? We should have an incubator where we have youth competing and designing and doing, and who can and combine it with a chamber of commerce somewhere, and you have teenagers building websites for businesses. But it's a competition. It's an incubator. Best website wins this much or whatever they win. But we need more as far as pushing the idea of just having fun and playing, and that introductory level where we're staying at. We need to get to that intermediate level, and that's where government comes in. That's where corporations come in, and that's what I'm working on. I'm working on dealing with government, dealing with corporations, getting that partnership that says, "Hey, I want to support your drone initiative. Hey, we want to support your virtual reality vision." Actually, I was at Wednesday. We was at the business expo, right? I met a dude that came to me. He said, "Hit me up. I want to talk to you. We're in the AI space. Da 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 da. I want to see how we can support and work together."
Nice.
That's partnership. That's someone that's talking. Let's figure some things out. I got to make sure I build that friendship and
Of
see what
course.
he's talking about. Point to if he can point to our ideas, right?
Of
That's
course.
it.
And staying there, how important is collaboration to you?
Very important. Superman, Superman. We're not Superman,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Um, I think of the greatest team in history, the Wu-Tang Clan,
Mm,
right? If you study and dissect what they did, they formed like Voltron, maintained independence,
mhm,
and kept. They're one of the illest. They might be the best team ever. I'm not gonna say they're
mhm,
not, right? But they
mhm.
might be the best team that formed ever, that worked together very well, added their flavor, and
Yep.
then still kept their individuality,
Yeah, they
right?
did.
Collaboration is about adding your flavor to
Mm,
something. Maintain
okay.
your individuality. I collaborate. Oh,
Mm,
I collaborate all the time. I
yeah.
partner with other people. I'm not keep. First of all, I'll never keep a sunshine to myself, and I hope others will share some sunshine with me.
No, that's powerful. That's powerful. Um, in that, I want to talk briefly about, because in order to really add your flavor, you have to know what your flavor is. So then, how important is it as an individual, and how early can we start, or how early should we be starting? And as I know you're working with children, to really help our children and help our peers really find their niche. Like, what are they really good at? What do they really want to do? And how do we do that? How have you done that?
Of course, you ask questions, probe, you observe. First of all, you can visually observe if you're able to observe someone, observe their circle, observe their vibe, how they move, and then you ask questions. I talk to death to the kids, right? Hey, how's school? Hey, what are you up to? What's your favorite subject? Oh, I don't have no favorite subject. I say ludicrous. You gotta have a favorite something in school because why are you in school then? You're not in school because your mom and dad told you to, or the city told you to. You could run away and not be in school. I'm sorry, but we push them to find something that they love and figure out how they want to work on it. If you're into drawing, right? Drawing leads into like so many industries, right? Drawing can lead into patents.
Mm,
Drawing can lead into graphic design. It can lead into game design, website design, the next best spaceship, right?
mm,
Is how do we push their thought of their passion, find out what they like, probing questions, observation, and then help them see the vision that they could fall
take
into,
it.
right? Hey, you
Take
know
it.
what? You ever thought about I worked with a guy at IKEA retail. This dude has a bridge he designed that's out there in California, bro. Still up to
Incredible.
this day. You would have never thought it. But that was his first thing, architecture, design.
Mm,
He's here working in retail with books and numbers. This dude has a bridge that he helped design.
incredible.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So talking will always get the best results to get information. You know, and once you do that, you get the idea of where someone's at, and now you figure out how you or the next best person can pour into them. It's not always me, right? It could be
Yep.
Sugar Ray, and I would
Hmm.
say, "Hey, call my guy Sugar Ray,"
Hmm.
and people have done it to me. Call Matt, and sometimes people have called me. I'm like, "Hey, I'm not the right one though, but hold on, call Corey,"
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
So how the better our network as adults, as grown-ups,
Yep.
the better we can serve once we
Ooh,
get the answer to those questions, right?
powerful, powerful. The better our network, the better we can serve. And with that, that even takes a certain level of humility to be like, hey, I'm not the guy with the answer that you're looking for. Pass you to somebody else, right? So that's a testament to who you are. As a man, as a father, as a husband, that's a testament to whoever else does that. Like that means that we are honest with you. Got to be honest with yourself. Somebody said in a recent
Yeah.
interview, always got to be honest with yourself. And we look at limits as a bad thing, or I got no limits, but we got to be honest. Like there's some things you just are not great at. You might be
Yep.
exceptional in some areas, and some things you're a novice, and actually you might be terrible at. It's important to acknowledge
Yep.
that, so that not only do you not hurt yourself, but you don't hurt your community by giving misinformation and misleading people, right? So I definitely want to shout you out for that, good brother. So let's talk about, you know, aside from the drone clubs, summer clubs, NYCHA, aside from the summer camps that you got coming on, what do you have coming up that excites you?
Our interns. We started hosting interns last year. Um, we had 2 last year. Right now, I'm looking at 5.
Nice.
I have a 6th one, but he goes away for the summer.
Okay.
But we have 6 interns that we're going to be tapping into for the summer and beyond. Some in high school, some in college. I'm excited for that part because it brings to life some of my dreams of how can we empower our youth. Our youth don't get a chance to intern at Google, Microsoft, these big companies because we don't have the network, right? Well, guess what? With Galore Urban Tech, you do. You come intern with us. We'll show you who JetBlue is. We're gonna take you to Delta. We're gonna take you to Google. I got 2 people that work in Google, right? One of them wrote the cybersecurity certificate program that just launched. He's with us with our drone program. One of them works in HR. So now we're creating that lane to come mess with us, and we're gonna push this next door open for you. Move forward, young chief. You move forward. That's what I do. The intern program is gonna be lit. We're trying to figure out, how to financially support them, compensate them. The days of free interns, those are pretty much over. You gotta give them something. I'm gonna give my interns this summer a monthly Metro card, and they're gonna get their stipend. Nice. I hope that I can find a corporate partner or individual partner that believes in the future growing and people adding to their resume, having a great resume before they even hit college. That would like to partner with us. And you know what? If that's what you can help us with, the money with interns to grow that training, development, clothes for them to wear, simple clothes. I had to buy, I bought some shorts the other day. It hurt. We don't have a budget. So the interns is the next biggest blessed thing that's happening. And we're in the beginning of that.
Nice. Is there an age requirement for your interns?
High school and up, so 14 and up.
Nice, powerful. And
I said, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, how would someone become an intern? What's that process?
Definitely. Well, first they can go to our website, galoreurban.tech.org. Drop a contact slip. Hey, I want an intern. You go to galoreurban.tech.org, drop a contact form. I send you a questionnaire. We do a phone and Zoom. I'm not gonna call it interview, meet and greet. Because if you want to intern, in my mind, you're in. It's just we got to figure out how to make it work, right?
Powerful.
So, galoreurban.tech.org.
Nice. No, that's so powerful because what that does is, which I even as a youth, I was like, yo, if someone has an interest in something, they should automatically be included. It's just about figuring out how. Right? It's about figuring out how. Because if a person has an interest in something, that must mean what? They have an interest in it. So why would you not, as an adult running a nonprofit, running an organization, not foster that and just like not tell them no, but just foster it and be like, okay, like in what way can you intern? Can you help with marketing? Can you help with outreach? Can you help with designing? Can you help with manufacturing? Can you help with making connections? Are you a good public speaker? Can you represent us in spaces that maybe I can't be? Right? Can you go speak for us? Right? There's so many different ways to make it work. And I love that you are open-minded in that way. Again, another testament to who you are. So man, this has been great, brother. If you got some last words, man, some words of inspiration, some words for both, right? If they're combined, combine them. But if you got words for young people who will watch, I got some young people I'll send this to. And if you have some words for some parents, and some community leaders, give us some last words, brother.
Well, I always want to tell the older people in the room, no matter how old you are, you could be 16 and leading a 12-year-old. The older people in the room, be a positive role model in that space that you're in. People are always watching. People always see you when you're outside in public. How you carry yourselves is going to impress the next person. You always want to ask the people underneath you, behind you, hey, what do you need to get ahead of me, right? What do you need so I can push you forward? Whether it's your kid or a student in school, ask them what do they need. Like you said, what do they like? And help them find what they like. Do that Google search. Call your local elected official. Say, hey, do you know of any programs related to drones? If you call my assemblyman, my city councilwoman, maybe my state senator, I don't know. He be acting like he don't know. If you call certain people, they're gonna say, check out Galore Urban Tech.
Yeah, they are.
So we put ourselves in a position to be a resource. So don't be afraid to go find the resources, right? There's a great drone company, Drone Cadets, right? I'm not afraid to push them forward, to say their name. They're awesome at what they do. And if I can't deliver it, here's another option. Go, young buck, go. So be a leader in the room, be a leader in the streets. Ask them how you can help them find the resources.
Powerful, man. Yo, thank you for your time, brother. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for all of the work that you're doing. You know, this is definitely service work, man. You're building community. You know, you are educating, you are empowering our, not just our future, but it's now, right? It's not just like something that's coming in 10 years and 20 years. Obviously, this industry is going to continue to grow, but this is something that these young people can use to benefit them right now. As you mentioned, you could be 16 right now and get your license, right? Get certified, get your license, and now you can fly drones and make money and create a business around that today. So this is something that's now, right? You know, they say the future, I think John Legend said in one of his songs, the future started yesterday.
Yes. It's true.
So I appreciate you. Yo, man, this is your
Thank
boy,
you, my brother.
Marston.
Let me just say congratulations on kicking off your show. I've been waiting. I'm always waiting for what's new with you. I'm encouraged by your energy, your dedication to keep plowing ahead, your dedication to the community, and to being a voice. Right, everyone can't speak up, but those that can will, and they do, and you're one of them. And I appreciate you and applaud you. Shout out to Sugar Ray and the Sugar Ray Show.
Yo, man, appreciate you, brother. Another incredible episode. You guys go to GaloreUrbanTech.com, follow them on social media. Visit the website, find out how you can get your family involved, how you can get children in your community involved, man. Incredible program. I vouch for 100,000%, man. I look forward to getting more young people in Queensbridge involved. I can't wait to bring the Drone Club to Queensbridge, bring the VRs to Queensbridge, man. Another episode of the Sugar Ray Show, you know. And as always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We all we got, but we all we need. Peace.
Peace.